Hello everyone and welcome to the Carcode YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Sam. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the post notification button so you're notified every single time I upload a new video. Today I'm testing out the latest and greatest EV SUV from Audi. This is the Audi Q8 e-tron. So starting with the exterior design on the Q8 e-tron, and it may look like quite a familiar car, and that's because essentially it's a car that already exists but a facelift and a rename. That doesn't often happen in the industry, but it's quite interesting. So essentially the Q8 e-tron was called the e-tron, so it's the original all-electric Audi, and they've just facelifted it and updated the battery specs and sort of the styling, and then renamed it as the Q8 e-tron rather than just the e-tron. I actually did a quick comparison at the Fully Charged live show North in Harrogate of the Q8 e-tron versus the e-tron. So I'll insert some clips so you can see the differences between the two. So this is a used Audi e-tron Sportback. It looks really good. It's got some new shapes in the grille and lots of manufacturers are experimenting with different geometric shapes. It looks really good. Now this is the black edition. So you've got the black grille. This is all black on the black edition. On other models, this will be body colour and this section will be grey or black. And then on your SQ8, this is all a bright silver colour as well. The same goes for the badge. So the black edition, you've got the grey Audi rings with the black background. So it does blend in quite a bit, but it does look nice. It has a sleek look. It has improved the aerodynamics, even though it's just a facelift. They've done that by sorting out some new air curtains on the car and these vents which open for cooling the car and are closed otherwise, so that just helps even more with the aerodynamics, as does if you get the Sportback Coupe SUV version, that helps with that too. But at the front you have a really lovely design. I love the light that goes through the grille illumination, but that's on the Technology Pack Pro, which is around £6,000. However, it includes a lot, so I would recommend going for that, but it's what's available. Like this car was a lease car rather than built to order. So in terms of colour options on the Q8 e-tron, there's quite a few, which is really nice to see, and they have gone out there with a few of the colours as well. The standard colour is the magnet grey, which is a solid, it's not metallic. That's across the range standard. It's very boring. It's very like the Volkswagen Rron grey, so just a dark flat grey, so I'm not a huge fan of that one. Your metallic paint work starts at £795, so this is the plasma blue. This is definitely one of my favourites. In pictures and online it doesn't look as good as in person, especially in the sun. It's absolutely stunning. I really love the Antigua blue, which was on the pre-facelift or just the normal e-tron. That was such a nice colour, and that's the one that I saw in Harrogate last year, so I really loved that colour, but that's not on this car anymore. You can get some other colours. There's the cyan beige, which is really nice. There's a few choices of grey. Chronos grey is extremely popular. It's kind of the in colour at the moment, the dark grey metallic. A lot of colours to go for. You can also go for a premium option, which is a red, Sonia red, which is very bright. I'm not a huge fan of that one. And then you can get the Audi exclusive colours, which are just under £3,500, so they're quite pricey. Personally, I think there's enough colour options at the £795, which is great. The ultra blue is a really bright blue colour and really stands out. It's not available on the base sport model. I do also like the new Madeira brown metallic. I think it's probably quite controversial, a brown car, but it just seems a very rich colour and it looks great, especially on the Sportback model. However, on this model, I think the plasma blue is definitely the best option. It looks excellent. So what about alloys offered on the Q8 e-tron? Well, it starts with the 20-inch 5-arm alloy wheels on the Sport model. These are in graphite grey and they were on the e-tron before. They're not the most exciting wheels, so I'm not a huge fan of those. It then goes up to the 15-spoke graphite grey alloy wheels on the S-Line, and they're 21-inch wheels. They look a little bit fussy in my opinion, and again, not a huge fan of those ones either. On the black edition, it goes up to these 21-inch glossy black Audi Sport wheels. They've got a flatter design, so it helps with aerodynamics. On darker coloured cars like this plasma blue model, it looks really great. You can also get a diamond cut look wheel as well, and that is a free of charge option if you want to opt for that on the black edition, and I think that will work better with lighter colours. On the top of the range Vorsprung model, you get 22-inch diamond cut alloy wheels, so of course you'll have a thinner sidewall on those and perhaps a less comfortable ride. However, all of the models you get air suspension anyway, so you're going to be quite comfortable over lumps and bumps while you're driving. This one has got a 45 profile tyre. Of course, the smaller the wheel, generally the comfier the ride, but I think for a car this big, 21-inch wheels are quite good. One of my favourite features on the Q8 is the adaptive air suspension. So you can control the car's height, so I'll show you that now. This is standard as well on every car, so you should see it raising now. You can hear it is a little bit noisy, but it's going up. But it's just like in the Touareg, so if you want to watch my review on the Touareg, that was my review last week. You can click up there to watch the review on that car. Very similar car actually in terms of dimensions, but this is electric. Quite interesting, in the Volkswagen group, there isn't another electric SUV this big as of yet. So there you go. Then you've got really high ground clearance. You can see just how much it's changed, how high the car is next to me. And you can even get it to go very low as well. So great range, and nice that that's standard on all cars. One thing that's not standard is the camera mirrors. They're just over £1,700. I don't think they're worth the time and money. Of course, they reduce your drag a bit, so will increase range slightly. But £1,700, you're never going to get that back. I've got the mirror actually in the door card. You have to look down. Not worth it at all. So these normal mirrors do the trick. They don't fold in much when you lock the car. But watch this. That's it. So they still stick out quite a bit. And I'm going to lower it back down now so you'll be able to see how low it can go. This is in the all-road setting, so I'm going to put it into the other setting now. Should be going down now. Oh, it's going down. Of course, it drops down quicker than it does go up. This is efficiency mode, by the way. Just like that, all done. I can say that's a lot quicker than the Touareg took to go, but that went a lot higher. At just over 4.9 meters long, it's obvious this car is absolutely huge. It doesn't fit in car parking spaces, it's too long, and it is quite wide as well. So even if you get into a space, it's getting the doors open and getting out can be a bit of an issue. So something to bear in mind, especially if you're doing a lot of town and city driving. You don't really need a car this absolutely humongous. It's hard to see on camera or in photographs, but in real life you do really get struck by the size. In fact, this is my dad's new car. If you haven't seen, he used to have the Q4 e-tron, and I did a 60,000 mile review on that. You can click up there to watch the video on that car. This is the car he's gone for this time for his lease, and that was the previous one, which he enjoyed, but it wasn't without his problems. So I'd suggest you go and watch that video if you want to know more about the Q4. To the back of the Q8 e-tron, you've got this full light bar that goes all the way across and spreads out. It does look nice. I do like this new Audi badge as well. It's kind of in a crystal effect, and of course the e-tron stamped into the bumper. That's a staple on e-tron cars, and I love how that looks. This gloss black diffuser as well looks great. I want to show you inside the Q8 now, but before we do that, I want to say thank you to OrbitKey for gifting me these keyring and accessories. So this is the key of the Q8 e-tron, but this is my dad's keyring situation. It's not the best. So this is where the key organizer comes in, OrbitKey ring, and the clip mini as well. So I'm going to transform the keys and they will no longer look like this. And there you go, all nice and organised and matching the car. And last but not least, we have the OrbitKey clip mini. You lock it down, it clicks into place, and then you've got it all secure. And you've got the carabiner as well. Excellent. And this is them with the clip mini on. So you can just clip them onto your bag, anything. How cool. So now that we've got the keys nice and sorted and organised, let's have a look inside the Q8 e-tron. So here we are inside the Q8 e-tron. And what is it like? Well, it's a lovely car. I'll turn it on. We've got the electric seats. That little jingle is so nice as well. How do you adjust the steering column? It's not electric, it is just a manual adjustment, but that's not a huge issue. It would be nice though if it was with the memory. Sometimes cars have got the electric steering column as well. That's nice. I'm going to put my heated seats on because it's absolutely freezing today. You've got this dark headlining on S-Line and Black Edition and Vorsprung models. It's nice, but it is a little bit dingy in here, and no sunroof. You have to get the Technology Pack Pro, which again is around £6,000, so it's expensive. It gives you a lot of kit though, so that would have been nice to have the sunroof. You do have this armrest that pulls out. All your climate controls are controlled through a screen, but the screen is always on there at the bottom, so it's not an issue. It's absolutely fine. Mimics buttons in the way it works. So does the screen, so it makes a little noise when you click everywhere, which feels a little bit weird, but you do get used to it. I love the steering wheel though. It's perforated leather, flat bottom steering wheel, and it's got proper Audi badge on now instead of a flat sticker looking thing on the Q4. That looks proper quality. You've also got your paddles for the regenerative brake in there as well. Love the digital dials. There's quite a bit of gloss black, and they do this on the Q4 as well. They kind of extended the screen out, so of course once it's off it's all like quite clean and flat and everything, but when it's on anyway you just have these big sections. It would have been nicer if they just continued the dash onto this section. Of course as well, on the normal sport model the steering wheel doesn't look as nice as this. This is stunning. I think it's one of the best steering wheels out there in regards of the quality of it, how it feels to hold, the buttons, how you can use those. Obviously your volume's just so easy to do. One thing that this doesn't have, which on an £86,000 car is a huge joke, is adaptive cruise control. It's got cruise control and speed limiter, but not adaptive. You've got to get the tour pack. You have to pay for that on an £86,000 car. My Golf's got that. Why does this not have it? Audi. Cruise control, that is a downside. Though I prefer that on the wheel, and I prefer it to be adaptive. Everything feels so quality that you touch. Everything, even down, lower down, there's literally hardly any scratchy plastics anywhere. It's really well put together, as you'd expect and hope for in a car that's over £70,000. This one being 86 in the Black Edition 55. You know, it's not a cheap car, but it doesn't feel cheap. It feels expensive. You've got the little camera button that you can access at any time if you want to see the rear camera. This has got front and rear sensors as standard. I can just say as a passenger what it feels like. It does feel quite a bit bigger than the Q4, and it is very comfortable, so we're going to launch it when we can. This is the 55 model, so it's got 408 PS, and the 50 model has got 340 PS. This gets 0 to 60 in just 5.6 seconds, and the 50 is in 6 seconds, so they're both very quick cars. Double the power of the Q4. Let's see what this is like. Wow, that feels quick. Was that full throttle or not? Not quite full throttle. I defo think Quattro is the way forward, especially for your electric vehicles. It just makes a lot of sense to have the most power and that torque going to all four wheels rather than just the rear two. There is also the SQ8 as well, SQ8 e-tron, which has even more power, 0 to 62 in 4.5 seconds. I really don't feel like you need to go faster than this. This feels plenty fast enough. What do you think of it, Dad?
Really nice, yeah. It's
good upgrade.
Good upgrade from the Q4.
Do you think it's a bit too big for these roads?
It is a bit big, yeah. If you're trying to nip about, yeah.
Yeah. So it does have a noise as well that comes on at slow speed, so you'll be able to hear it in just a minute. It's very loud, and it is different to the Q4. It's more deep. It makes a lot of creaking noises as well. I don't know if anyone could say what that is. As for charging on the Q8 e-tron, it is done by the side flaps here, which go down very niftily. It's better than being on the very front of the car. I always prefer having the charger point at the back of the vehicle. However, you can still trail a wire around to here. Now on this side, on the driver's side in the UK, you have AC and DC type charging on this side of the vehicle. So this is your fast charging side of the car. And on the passenger side, you just have the AC type charging, so just your slower home charging on that one. And just so you can see what that looks like, it's glowing green. That means it is charging now. It would have been nice to see them put both charger ports on both sides so you have the option. However, it is still nice that you do have the option for either side. Most cars don't have that, you just have one charger port. Also, if you did ever have any faults with either port, you'd always have a backup. It's unlikely, obviously, but it's always good to know. You can actually fast charge the Q8 e-tron, the 55 model, at a rate of 170 kilowatts, and you can do the 50 model at 150 kilowatts. That means a 10 to 80% charge can be done in around 30 minutes on a fast charger, which is really good. The official range has gone up a lot on the Q8 e-tron, and that's the main difference on this car. It doesn't have a lot of aesthetic differences. Technology is very similar, it's the range which makes a huge difference. So an official range for the Q8 e-tron 50 is around 280 miles, and for the 55 it's 330 miles. Now going back to the e-tron, the normal e-tron 50 had a range of just 190 miles and the 55 had a range of 255 miles. So essentially the 50 is now what the 55 used to be, and the 55 is a whole new thing. So that means you get an 89 kilowatt hour battery as standard, and on the 55 you get a 106 kilowatt hour battery. The 89 kilowatt hour battery used to be what the 55 was, but now it's a 50. Just to confuse everything, you can't compare like for like with the numbers. I'd defo go for the e-tron rather than the Q8 if you want to save some money. If you do need the range, however, the e-tron just doesn't have the capability for that. The Q8 has brought in faster charging capability and bigger batteries, so if you really need to do a longer range, the Q8 is the car for you. Boot space is excellent as well on the Q8 e-tron. You can see it's absolutely massive. You get 570 litres in this normal model. If you want the Sportback model, you lose 40 litres, so you get 530 litres. I think it's worth the payoff though in terms of its looks and slight increase in efficiency thanks to its more aerodynamic design. That'll give you a couple more miles of range. Although it is a few thousand more expensive, I think it does look overall more premium. You've got this really nice metal scuff plate here as well, this load cover that goes down. It feels all very premium. As you can see, my dad's been using the space for Coke Zero. Loads of underfloor storage as well. There's loads in here, plenty of space for all your things. So yeah, really nice. It is also electric, of course. And on this car, you've even got a fruit or front boot. It is on hydraulics, of course, which is great, and you can just open it like so, and it's got this bag which was supplied with the car that fits perfectly into the space, and the charging cables, which you can see are a bit muddy. Of course, this bag zips up really nicely and looks nice and neat in there, which is great. This feels a little bit flimsy, a bit plasticky, but it is at least nice that you have that storage space. I'm guessing it's cheaply plasticky just to reduce weight or something. And of course, it looks like an engine cover, which is quite funny. You can see all the gubbins and things, which I'm not a huge fan of, especially when you'll be maybe using this space every day. You maybe want that to look a little bit better. They could have covered that over a bit more, but that's just me. I'm glad it's on hydraulics. You don't have to put a strut up to put your things in. And it's nice because most electric cars that I've reviewed so far don't have the fruit. The Q4 e-tron didn't have it, so the fact that this has got it is really good. How are the back seats here? What are they like? Well, I am going to be very fussy and complain that there's no heated seats in the back of here, because I would have quite liked them. You can opt for them, but really It's £86,000. I'm expecting everything on a car that price, honestly. Your armrest pulls out like so and it feels quite comfortable. You've got this little section in here that fits an Audi first aid kit, I believe. It's very pointless. It's like it's very flat. This, I thought some cup holders come out of here or something. I've tried and tried to figure out what this is. It's like a bulky plastic thing. If you move it forwards a bit, it does flex a bit. It doesn't move though. I don't think it's got cup holders in there, which is a shame. You can though fold this section down again, which is great that you've got the 3-fold split. I think that really works well. And yeah, nice. It's not just 60-40 split, but you don't have a ski hatch, so that's one thing. You've also only got this 12-volt socket back here, cigarette lighter thing. You don't have any USB-C or USB ports back here. That's a bit annoying, Audi. You also, your ISOFIX points, they've got these covers, you know, the ones that come off. So you'll lose them maybe. What's the middle seat like? Well, you've got almost completely flat floor there, and it's a little bit firm on the back, but it's quite comfortable. It's a very wide car, so 5 adults should be fine in here. You of course do have your dark headlining. You've got your little lights here. You've got the nets in the backs here, which is nice, but they can get a bit saggy over time. Other cars do offer better backseat practicality with trays and with more charging points and things like that. I think the backseat, you get loads of space and the seats are comfortable, so that's important. I like this Alcantara suede material in here, and everything's really good quality, even in the back. One thing I do like about the back doors is you've got the illuminated door sill and also the puddle lights even on the back doors, which is a nice premium touch. A little e-tron written across there, you can see it a bit better on my foot there. E-tron. That's the Q8 e-tron. What do I think of it? Well, I think it's a really great, capable, premium large electric SUV. It's a lovely car. It goes without saying it's very expensive, starting at around £70,000. It's not a cheap car. And if you're looking at the 50 model, especially to buy one, I'd just go and get a used e-tron 55, which is now basically the Q8 50. If you're leasing it though, like 80% of the electric market is leased through businesses, companies, things like that, then it is definitely a car worth looking at. If you're buying, it's a lot more financially viable to look at the e-tron used. Examples, there's one starting at around £20,000 used. E-trons, of course, they're very basic models, but you can even get a black edition, so very similar spec to this, for around £45,000, a year old with like 6,000 miles on. So if you're buying one, defo get a used e-tron. If you're leasing though, like my dad, this is a really good deal on his lease, salary sacrifice. It could be really worthwhile, so defo look into it for company car drivers. As a car as a whole, I can't really fault much on it. I think it's great. It should have adaptive cruise control, that could be better. Other than that though, it's a great car. They've just done little tweaks to improve it, and I should expect the next generation will be an all new model. Thank you as well to OrbitKey for the key rings. That's great. The links will be in the description for them as well, and you can also win one by subscribing to my YouTube channel and following me on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in my next review.